United States, the largest economy in the world. Everything is in abundance. And if you don't believe me, go check out people's garages. You'll find out. We have so much junk. I've often wondered, because when it comes to creativity, when it comes to lateral thinking, and I have lived in a lot of different countries. I have lived in the developing world, the developed world. One of the things which really fascinates me about creative thinking, lateral thinking, is in a lot of the developing world, people come up with a lot of creative solutions, right? And as you mentioned, that creativity demands constraints, right? If you have abundance, it just doesn't happen. Here's the thing I wanted to share with you, and I wanted to see what your thoughts are. uh, United States, the largest economy in the world. Everything is in abundance. And if you don't believe me, go check out people's garages. You'll find out. We have so much junk. Uh, when it On individual level, when you talk about lateral thinking, out of the box thinking, you see a lot of that stuff happening in a lot of developing world. But as a collective, I still do not see any other country as a whole coming up with these fascinating new ideas, which are not just creative, but they are also financially viable. Case in point, look at the tech world in the last many years or so. Look at Google, Facebook, all these companies. The birthplace is this country, right? I mean, are there any specific reasons that United States, having so much, everything in abundance, still comes out with these amazing lateral thinking creative ideas which are just financially viable also? I mean, is there do you have any thoughts on that?
Sure. So I'm sitting here in the hub of Silicon Valley.
Yes, you are.
You can see I don't have the most innovative background here in my office. But what it's a reminder of is the fact that creativity, the conditions for creativity have to be created within constantly, right? The external environment doesn't always, even in Silicon Valley here, doesn't always lend itself to creativity. So it's this constant mode and push. And I think, it's certainly the US was founded on certain principles. And I think of some of the greatest lateral thinking leaders in history. Thomas Jefferson certainly comes to mind for just his brilliant ability to connect dots. He was as interested. I mean, if you visit Monticello ever and have the opportunity to tour,
I actually have.
It's fantastic. And you see this polymath at play, right? Who was fascinated with how peas would grow inside a plant. At the same time, so fascinated with democratic systems of government and how to stand those up. And at the same time, fascinated with religious freedom and how that might be exercised in this new context. Constant dot connecting, I think, is very important. For all of the strain that our company has around polarization, I still think it's a place of diversity. And I still believe in at least a history of the melting pot. And I certainly believe in the future of multiplicity of ideas and this at least democratic sort of cauldron where ideas can be nurtured, but also connected. Certainly there's that capital component that gives life to ideas. That is that missing piece in many ways in the developing world, although that's changing. And I think we see a privileging of ideas. And especially Silicon Valley, there's no stigma associated with failure. And people will say that's the major difference between Silicon Valley and maybe other places. There's no stigma. People will wear failure, so to speak, right, as a badge of pride, as a step toward learning. And really, lateral thinking is all about that, learning from every angle, studying from every angle, multidimensionality, multiplicity of ideas, multiple sources of input, and driving it that way. And my hope, having worked globally, is that this spirit will truly extend globally. I've seen, working with MIT, I've had the opportunity to participate now in several hackathons that are by design, global. And this is where you get that constraint around creativity. 3 days, seemingly intractable problems. One, for example, was how to bring cancer care to the most remote communities in the world. And the level of energy, drive, but especially diversity of thought, all matched together and meshed together in a finite period of time. What comes out of those settings is nothing short of amazing. And if we can think in our organizations, especially some of those you referenced, the sort of staid, organizations really striving for innovation, but locked by their own bureaucracies and to some extent legacies,
Sure.
where we can bring that spirit of truly global reach and global collection of input and feedback. And we're seeing some of the tools emerge for that now efficiently through AI and so forth. We will be better as organizations, and again, better contributors across the board, and also better positioned to nurture ideas wherever they might originate.
Fantastic, fantastic. And what you just mentioned in terms of organizations, right? So in my work with a lot of all kinds of businesses, all shapes and sizes, every small business wants to act or become like big business, right? Because you want to have the systems and the processes in place. And every big business you talk to, they want to be like small business, right? So I mean, it's the grass is always greener on the other side. And